If you are interested in personal growth and helping the people around you to improve, you are flexing your emotional intelligence without even knowing it. Everyone is capable of becoming an inspirational leader. There can be many personality types at work and in our personal lives that you may not understand. You may have the curiosity to learn how to interact and communicate productively without leaving the interaction feeling defeated and unhelpful. There may be moments when you come off as discourteous or confusing. This training targets some communication and behavioral skills that can be used to avoid stressful outcomes. What's better than feeling accomplished at the end of your workday? Well, having you and your team on the same page, feeling good, and moving forward in the same direction. What makes a great leader? The first effective tool is establishing expectations. Clear expectations can help you avoid micromanaging individuals, unplanned outcomes, and collusions against you and the company. Setting clear expectations will impact people's performance if they know what the results need to be. Establishing firm performance expectations starts with new hires. Their first day is very overwhelming, but the first thing the individual wants to know is what we expect of them at this time. Next, if you are conducting a performance review, if you haven't prepped or mapped out a plan to make the person successful, you aren't going to have that person feeling good about themselves as they leave the review. What the person really wants to know is, can you make me successful and how can you make that happen? What tools can you educate me with to get me on the right track? When delegating to your team, it's easy to get sidetracked, but being firm and fair with clear expectations will help you navigate organically to the company's goal. Job changes are inevitable at any facility. Communicating production analytics, forecasting business expectancy, and passing on your experience through training and education will support a smoother transition. When it comes to safety, educating everyone to understand regulatory compliance, making yourself approachable so they can become empowered to act confidently, and leading by example are ways you can establish performance expectations. Mismatched performance expectations frequently create serious problems in the supervisor-employee relationship, not to mention the time and resource that are wasted when work has to be redone. If you don't have time to do it right the first time, how will you have time to fix it? Let's move on. Most team members thrive on established, clear expectations. Establishing them before a meeting is a good example. Without clear expectations, even the most skilled person will often fall short. When you aren't clear with people about what the organization needs and what you expect, you set the stage for misunderstanding and disappointment. You don't want to be interrupted during your meeting or presentation, right? Well, set the ground rules. Start with silence all electronics. Show respect, even if opinions don't match up to yours. Be present physically and emotionally, and let them know that you want them to engage in the activities and discussions. If you're working in PowerPoint, you can display what you expect from them and what they can expect from you on the first slide. If you're on a Teams meeting, you can quickly verbalize expectations with some notes to provide everyone with the ground rules. At this point, you could sit back and enjoy the process. There are some tools that can guide you to establish clear expectations. Think about this. You may have left the last meeting you conducted feeling defeated due to unclear expectations, or you felt like it was not worth everyone's time. What you can do for the next meeting is formulate a checklist prior to discussion so that you can keep on track. You can also remove confusion by prepping yourself to answer questions without ambiguity. This will most likely get a buy-in from others and create a feeling of ownership from the listener. They will trust your method and focus. Building that trust with your team helps you avoid that uncertainty. Your effectiveness to inspire your team will be enhanced if you're aware of their personality style, desired environment, and motivating factors. There are rewards that come from understanding and using your knowledge from all four communication styles. Learning yours as well will help your awareness of your own behavior. Rewards may consist of friendlier greetings, verbal recognition, praise, offered advanced trainings and education, invitations to lunch, respect, and maybe even a promotion of some sort. Pick one of the four styles that you believe you are and write it down. Write down your strengths and your weaknesses. You can reflect. Now try the same method for your team. It can fix a lot of uncomfortable situations if you have this awareness in your back pocket. If you want more transparent evaluations of yourself, Check out this free online test at 16personalities.com. There are plenty of resources available, so take advantage of all of them. Make it fun for you and your team. You can even use it to enhance your personal life. Research shows that IQ can help you be successful to the extent of 20% in your life. 80% of your success in life depends on EQ. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and manage your own emotions and the emotions of others. IQ, or intelligence quotient, is an assessment of your ability to think and reason. IQ is harder to enhance, but you can always improve on your emotional intelligence with awareness exercises. EQ gets stronger the more you work on it. It's like going to a mental gym. The more consistent you work out, the more results you will see. A good way to think about it is IQ gets you hired, EQ gets you promoted. Positivity is always the best policy in business. So having structure for providing feedback can create a safe place for otherwise uncomfortable interactions. Performance reviews can be anxiety for anybody, leadership and the receiver. Recognizing a person's uniqueness and their contributing role in the organization can create a comfortable atmosphere for everyone at the beginning of the review meeting. Stating a constructive purpose with feedback looks like this: I want to discuss, or I'd like to let you know, or something like I have a concern about. Describe specifics about what you observed and start with facts. Separate what you have observed with your own opinions. Keep your opinions to yourself at this point. Explain the consequences of other people's behaviors. Explain how you feel about it, and then give examples of how others are affected. Giving the person the opportunity to respond is a big deal. Use active listening skills while asking them their view of the situation and how they reacted. Show empathy and focus your attention on them and only them. Yawning, daydreaming, or looking at electronic devices during an interaction will not help at all. Remove all distractions. If you're able to offer suggestions, be specific and keep your focus on how to improve. You can illustrate a new or different way of doing things. Use your problem-solving abilities from the information you've gathered. Showing them that you have their back is not always a natural function for everyone, so keep it in mind. Helpful ways to show your support: you can summarize how you will support them and avoid misunderstandings by sticking to the facts. There are going to be things that you can do and can't do. You can't do it all, so be specific to what you are capable of doing. The goal is to build trust so that you are approachable for any level of support. Before giving feedback, remind yourself why you are doing it. The purpose of giving feedback is to improve the situation or the person's performance. You won't accomplish anything by being harsh, critical, or offensive. You'll likely get much more from people when your approach is positive and focused on improvement. That's not to say feedback always has to be good, but it should be fair and balanced. Try to make it a positive experience. Focus on facts, not hearsay, by limiting your criticism to what you see with your own two eyes. You will be more likely to refrain from judgments that can trigger a defensive reaction. Don't use extreme words like always, never, and worst. They are considered dangerous words. When used, you appear to be overstating your case and not focused on actual performance. Use I instead of you. You statements, when trying to provide feedback, will often sound offsetting and accusatory. You're on shaky ground if you find yourself using a you word followed by a negative comment. Be supportive to others. There is a fine line between advice and support. Advice given the wrong way may be received as an insult from someone in a position of superiority. Support is well-intentioned. Share observations and make the person feel valued and equal. The Anatomy of Francis Leader is an exercise to help you understand clear expectations and how situations can get legs if clear expectations are not provided. Enjoy. Okay, here is the scenario. Francis Leader is a fluid power systems fabricator and an all-around great woman. She was hired by Airline Hydraulics years ago, and she is still the best fluid power systems fabricator on her team. Upper management decided the team needed a supervisor, and Francis was the obvious choice. Now Francis supervises the other fluid power system fabricators. Let's fast forward 3 years. Francis is still in charge of the fluid power system team she's always been with, but unfortunately, the department hasn't grown. And that holds back the company. When upper management investigates it, they realize that Frances is still making fluid power systems harder and faster than she used to. They catch on to a reoccurring phrase that's whispered around the lunchroom every so often, that Frances is not a supervisor, she is a GE, a glorified employee. So what went wrong? Now for a root cause analysis and question form. Why did the company pick Frances? Why did Frances take the job? What did the company expect from Frances when she became a supervisor? What are the results of Frances being a glorified employee? What does the company need to do to ensure Frances does her job? What does Frances need to do to ensure her staff develops? These are rhetorical questions for now that anyone can answer in their own words, but in a real life situation, nobody plans outcomes as such. Learning through experience helps us avoid rhetorical questions linked to problems created internally. This rhetorical exercise will help you experience an unplanned scenario where expectations not met due to unclear expectations given from leadership. It will take a lot of effort and time to undo what has been created. Do we really want to spend all this time fixing this? I think not. There are many valuable characteristics one can have to create a gratifying relationship with a team, a coworker, or even with your personal life. Nobody is perfect, but we are capable of continually improving our personal growth and sharing that prosperity as we rise. A leader sets clear expectations. A leader is a good role model and leads by example. A leader empowers and motivates by inspiring others. A leader displays consistency at being firm and fair with everyone. A leader is willing to use active listening skills with others' input. A leader has someone's back when they really need it. A leader builds trust with empathy. A leader understands different communication styles. A leader sets deadlines and shares analytics for accountability. A leader provides resources so others can be successful with positive results. A leader is approachable no matter what issue arises. A leader delegates and develops with strategy. A leader provides feedback to initiate individual acknowledgments and accreditation. And a leader will always implement change with a positive light to deflect that subjective judgment that may occur. It starts with you.